Christopher, you know about the booster situation and reforming the educational process to some extent because of the home run initiative that you have. What's that about?
Yeah, so our success on preschool is like a little scrappy little city, kind of got us thinking, well, what else could we do? Then several of us, I know you, Mayor James, were a big part of this as well, partnered up with President Obama on the college promise. And I said, someday I want to provide free community college in our city as well. I don't know how we're going to pay for it, but that's our North Star. So we put these ideas together, and then that sales tax opportunity came that I mentioned in 2016 as a result of the state's decision not to renew their tax. And by that point, we were ready. I had a plan already. So we went to the voters and said, we are going to do the home run. We're the home of the AAA minor league baseball franchise for the region. So everything's baseball here. So we constructed a home run where first base was that early childhood period. So first base is going to be high quality preschool and college savings accounts for every entering kindergarten. And then second base is going to be digital badges and paid internships for every high school student that's in a career pathway, college and career pathway. And third base is going to be free community college and a scholarship. And then home is when you come back home to West Sacramento after your education, you contribute and you participate in the community. And then all those things, importantly, are outside of the school, right? So I didn't need to get agreement from the district, or the teachers union didn't have to sign on, the business community didn't have to necessarily sign on. We're just going to do it all, and we're going to connect them all. So you get a scholarship going to college, but like 5 points on that scholarship are based on, did you go to preschool when you were 4 years old? We're trying to send the messages to parents that it's all connected. And so our plan is to we're giving parents like a stork basket when they come home from the hospital. Like here's your preschool admission card. Here's the certificate for your college savings fund. Here's your baby's college ID card. To try to send this consistent set of signals. This year, as a result of the pandemic, we said, can we do one more thing? I've always struggled with, like, look, if you go from 6th grade to 7th grade, you just, even though it's elementary school to middle school, you just go, right? You don't apply to 7th grade. You don't send off an application form and then sit at home and hope that it turns out okay. You just go. And we know as mayors that every single young person in our communities needs some form of post-secondary education. It doesn't mean a university degree. It might be an apprenticeship, it might be the military, it might be something, but they need something after high school in order to have the full opportunities that they need. So we said, what if we just made it just as easy? So this year, as a result of the pandemic, we sent an admission letter to every single graduating high school senior. Congratulations, you were admitted to the local community college, and you were going to go for free because of our college promise, and we're going to give you a $200 scholarship. And be sure to tell your parents that if you have any babies on the way, that they should go to preschool in order to get an even bigger scholarship later. All right, so so we're trying to make that transition from high school to college as simple as possible. Now, that sounds really expensive, but it wasn't, because actually under law, we're all in California, we can all go to community college. You don't need to apply for you don't need to be admitted in the first place. We just took all the paperwork out of the middle. We just transfer the data file, hit send from the high school to the college, and now students are automatically admitted. We didn't have to worry about the cost of free tuition, because most students, it turns out, don't pay tuition anyway. The state has a very liberal program that waives tuition for everybody that's receiving any form of welfare, anybody who gets a Pell Grant. So the gaps that we were closing, and this is a lesson we learned with preschool when we realized so many kids in our city are eligible for Head Start and for other programs, they're just not connecting to them. So it's not just that we don't have to come up with $5,000 for every child. For most of our children, we just have to connect them to dollars that are already on the table for them. And so by weaving together these pieces, we're able to create something that is so big and so expensive and it's so profound that you can't help but know about it in the city. And in terms of creating that notion that West Sacramento, a great place to grow up, a great place to raise a family, all those pieces together build on and reinforce the success of the other.